And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Tuesday. Oh, Wednesday. Oof, almost lost a day there. Today is a big old Wednesday. We are not continuing on with our NFL Draft Prospect of the day today, day number 54. We're taking a little bit of a break because yesterday we kind of said on the show that we kind of reached the last third of the season. We are officially, I think this was like 2 days ago, we officially reached kind of the 2/3 mark of the NBA season. So why not kind of update what we think is going to happen in the playoffs if the season ended today. So we're going to go and play out the play-in games, play out the entire brackets in the East and the West, and see who we think right now at this moment is going to be the NBA champions. And let's see if anything kind of differs in this last third of the season. Let's see if anybody can go out there and impress us, shore up their team a little bit more and get a lot better and maybe kind of make a deep run late in the season. So that's what we got today on the show. Still breaking down the NBA from last night and doing a moneymaker because we went 2 of 2 yesterday, unfortunately, but we hit some good ones, so we'll talk about all that. But let's just jump right into it. In the first story we got to talk about, I wake up and I see the Volume. The Volume Sports Podcast Network has signed a new talent for their podcasting network, and it's not us. We've been trying to get on there. It's ran by Colin Coward, big fan of his. The Herd kind of inspired me to start this show. But he started his own podcast network about 2 months ago, and he started with like 3 or 4 kind of dedicated people, talent, however you want to kind of classify it, for their podcast network. But they just signed somebody else. It's not us, and we're truly disappointed on that. So who did we get beat out by? We submitted. We wanted to be in there. We sent emails. Hey, look at us over here. But we get beat out by who? Cooper Manning? The least talented Manning brother beats us out for a spot on the Volume Network, one of those coveted spots out there. Unbelievable. And this is the show. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for a Cooper Manning show? Cooper Manning will be joining the Volume to host Soup with Coop. Folks, we got beat out with Soup by Coop. Soup by Coop. Soup with Coop is better than Takes by Fans, I guess. So that's who we got beat out by. Cooper Manning, Soup with Coop, a weekly show where Cooper Manning, is joined by a guest to eat some soup and talk about anything and everything. That's what they've got over there at the Volume. Soup with Coop. Cooper Manning, eating soup with him, talking about whatever. Shooting the junk over some soup. Alrighty. The first episode's out with Brandon Marshall if you want to watch it. They enjoy some seafood gumbo and talk stories from Brandon's playing days. So if you want to see Brandon Marshall eat some seafood gumbo with Cooper Manning and talk about some of his playing days, Soup with Coop is your podcast. Cooper Manning seems like a great guy. I mean, I'm just, knocking on him. But, that's what they got over there at the Volume instead of Takes by Fans. All right, let's move on. Here we go to a not good story. Started out a little lighthearted there with, Cooper Manning's soup show. But now it's not good. It's not good because we get more information here on this Deshaun Watson sexual assault cases here. And it's not looking good for this man. So let's just jump right into it here. Here we go. 2 women, Ashley Solis and Lauren Baxley. Now, those names are now officially out there. Everybody could talk about them. We knew that kind of Deshaun Watson's lawyers were like, hey, we still don't even know the names of our accusers over here. So I'm sure, he's glad that finally something has been named so they can kind of investigate it a little bit further. But 2 women, Ashley Solis and Lauren Baxley, have come forward to identify themselves as plaintiffs in 2 of the civil lawsuits against Deshaun Watson. Solis, quote right here, Ashley Solis says, quote, "I was afraid. I'm not afraid anymore." And once you have an accuser say that, it's really game over. It's game over. You know, they're like, you know what? I was really afraid to step forward and say something, but now I see everybody else doing it. I don't feel afraid anymore, and I'm ready to spill the beans. So, not looking real good for Deshaun Watson. Let's go a little bit deeper into this story here, see if we see any damaging quotes, any damaging storylines of what they're kind of saying over here. So here we go. Alrighty, let's see what she says here. Solis said, Watson, quote, "assaulted me in my home. Quote, I can no longer practice the profession that I love most," she said. "I got into massage therapy to heal people. He took that away from me." Oh, no. They're just saying everything that's like the most damaging things you do not want to hear somebody say about you. You know, my passion was massage therapy, and he ruined that. He assaulted me. I can't do that again. I'm so shaken to my core that Deshaun Watson, somebody single-handedly is stopping me from doing what I love. I mean, if somebody came into this podcast studio right now and nutted on me, I would probably feel the same way. I can no longer do this show because I'm just mortified of what happened, and I do have a little PTSD that it could happen again. So he ruined that from me. He took that away from me. He took the ability away from me to earn a living doing what I want. Now that's something that you can just write a blank check on. These words right here, if they're just in it for the money, I'm sure these girls are serious. We're just talking it all through. We're just talking as, outside observers of this entire thing. But just that sentence alone, I can no longer practice the profession I love the most. He took that away from me. That's basically just saying, and it's a civil lawsuit, blank check, write whatever you want, whatever you think your future earnings were, whatever you think you would have kind of acquired throughout your entire life doing massage therapy. That's a blank check right there. So that's pretty good. I mean, she's pulling out all this stuff, what you need to say to make somebody even look worse and kind of, make the entire situation just be worse. Now, I'm sure this is how they're feeling. I'm not calling any of these people liars out here. Let's just get that straight. But I'm just saying that these are not quotes that make Deshaun Watson look good, and it kind of, helps out her case and, the settlement portion of the lawsuit. All right, let's see what else we get here. This was a tweeted out by somebody that's verified, so we're going to take her at her word for this, who was kind of in the courtroom, hearing all this testimony. So a letter from another woman who has filed suit against Deshaun Watson is being read. That woman isn't there, so she's still a little anonymous, but she sent a letter out here. The woman called Watson, quote, "a predator with power." Another really kind of a little bit of a buzzword there that really just makes Deshaun Watson in this entire case so much more worse. I mean, predator with power. I mean, that's literally every high profile kind of sexual predator that we've been hearing about. That's what they kind of, label him as. He had power over me. He's a predator with power. Matt Lauer having a button under his desk that closes and locks the door as soon as you step in. I mean, that's a predator with power. So getting labeled like that is not good. In the letter, it says that he has a, quote, meticulously designed facade to keep his victims second guessing himself. He's getting inside their heads. He's not only a predator with power, he is mentally manipulating them, saying, no, this is what are you talking about? This is normal, or this is your fault. He's having these women second guess themselves. Man, oh man, the mental manipulation now, the power, the sexual assault, the sexual harassment. It's everything. It's just making this case look so much more worse, and it's truly unfortunate, man, for everybody involved. Obviously, the victims and, Deshaun Watson, if it's not true, because, everybody, has their day in court. We have to kind of take this as, just take all the information with a grain of salt and kind of, let's see what plays out. Let's see what actually is the truth, if we can find that out. But, like we said, he still has the benefit of the doubt as well. So let's not, 100% classify this man as guilty just quite yet. But let's continue on here, see if we get anything else here. Tony Busby, a lawyer representing Solis, said she has provided a statement to Houston police. So Solis is one of those, lawsuits that the Houston police was investigating. We kind of heard that about maybe last week, I think, or like late last week, that the Houston Police Department was having their own investigation. So not great, not even worse for Deshaun Watson. All this was civil. You know, he has no risk of going to jail, just has to kind of pay out some settlements out here. But now if the Houston police is getting involved, that's where Deshaun Watson's like, all right, let's kind of cut it off here. There's 22 accusers right now. Let's just kind of pay them all out because I don't want to go to jail. Could you imagine being a football star then going to jail? La Aaron Hernandez, and that did not work out too well for him in there. But here we go. Let's continue on here. Solis went on to explain how she continues to be impacted by her encounter with Watson. Quote, I replay the incident over and over in my head as if I am trying to wake up from some nightmare. Oh my God, really piling it on here thick. Only that nightmare is real. I blame myself. Oh my God. Only that nightmare is real. I blame myself at times, which is insane. Truly. I mean, you know, if you're a victim, I mean, blaming yourself, I mean, that's got to be the worst hell that you can kind of put yourself through. Quote, my hands shake. Oof. Oh my God. My hands shake when I place them on a client. Well, isn't that good? You're a massage therapist. I think they would like that. They're, oh, you got some jets on those hands back there. My hands shake when I place them on a client, and I have to cut the session short. If you only knew how heartbreaking that is for me. I mean, yeah, she just said up here in the quote, you know, this is my dream. I love it. I heal people here. I think I'm doing great. I love this kind of industry. That's why I do this for a living. I'm massage therapist. I like healing people. I like helping other people. And Deshaun Watson took that away from me. Alrighty, let's see what else we get here. Solis said the idea that money was her primary motivation behind the filing the suit is false. Alrighty, you know, when you're filing a civil lawsuit, you know that you're going to get kind of criticism that you're only out for the money. She's calling that false. Quote, I came forward now in hopes Deshaun Watson does not hurt another woman. And that's where, you know, really just these words just kind of striking Deshaun Watson. You know, I came forward because I hope he doesn't do this again. I'm trying to protect the future women. They're calling this man a serial predator. It is not good out here. Alrighty, Rusty Hardin, Watson's attorney, issued a response on Tuesday saying Busby sought $100,000 on behalf of Solis in order to settle the matter. Man, $100K. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Damn, that's a lot of gosh darn money, man. That's all she went after. $100,000. Your career is over. You can't make any more money. You think you would only make $100,000 throughout your entire career there as a massage therapist? I would have gotten a little bit more. Let's go after a couple milli. Let's get that milli. We all know he got paid. Alrighty. Do we get anything else here? We're now up to 22 women who filed a lawsuit against Deshaun Watson. That's where the number is at right now. It is climbing every single day. Alrighty. Alrighty, another woman said Watson reached out in a direct message on Instagram to line up a massage on March 28th, 2020. The complaint said she, quote, found it somewhat peculiar that an NFL player would request a massage from her. I'm just a nobody. What is this man coming at me for? Yeah, I mean, could you just imagine, you know, just having, you know, a small business that you kind of run just on Instagram or something, you know, nothing big, maybe 1,000 followers, just kind of, you know, solid clients, you know, your regulars just to kind of get you by. And then you just have this freaking mega athletic freaking superstar millionaire. Hey, you open tomorrow at, 4:15. I got to get a massage. I'm in Carolina for the game. I saw your Instagram page. I'm all about the massage. You know, I see you got good reviews. You know, you go at 4:30 on Monday. And she's like, oh, of course. All my rates have just went up, but yes, of course, I would definitely love to, have you. And then, he, sexually assaults you. Not great. All right, but let's keep going here. Let's see what else she says. The complaint said she, quote, found it somewhat peculiar that an NFL player would request a massage from her because she didn't have a pre-existing working relationship with Watson or another Texans player. Watson and Solis agreed to set up a massage on March 30th, 2020. When the time came to begin the session, Salas said Watson was naked on the massage table with a small towel he had brought covering his groin. He allegedly instructed her focus on massaging his groin area and, quote, specifically kept trying to direct her to his penis. Hey, you see where those eyes pointing down there, girl? Get down there. Quote, Watson purposefully touched plaintiff's hand with the tip of his erect penis to complete read. Could you imagine being Deshaun Watson and having to read all of this? You're just like, what the freak, man? It wasn't even that erect, man. It was a little hard, a little chub there, but nothing erect. I wouldn't classify it as erect. She's going a little crazy with these allegations. The Texans quarterback allegedly issued a veiled threat to Salas to remain quiet about their session, and he potentially seek to harm her reputation. Interesting. The NFL issued a statement on Tuesday calling the allegations against Watson, quote, deeply disturbing. Truly, I mean, you got 22 women all kind of claiming the same things. That's never good. All right, maybe we can kind of be like, all right, let's definitely hear both sides. It's his word versus her word. Let's see where it goes. But then we start getting 2 and 3 and 5 and 10 and 15 and 20. I mean, at some point, folks, yes, people do lie in these circumstances sometimes, but 22, come on. But let's keep going here. Statement from the NFL. Here it is. The allegations are deeply disturbing, and we take these issues very seriously. Immediately following the news of the first allegation last month, a month. 22 women have come out in 1 month. That shit's spreading faster than COVID out here, folks. The first allegation last month and has been reported. We initiated an investigation under the NFL's personal conduct policy. We are continuing to closely monitor all developments in the matter. Classic kind of boilerplate things you have to say there. Alrighty, just finish this off right quickly. Watson is facing 22 lawsuits. Anything else here? Another woman who has not yet filed a lawsuit detailed similar inappropriate behavior by Watson during massage with her in the fall of 2019. Oh, so everybody's trying to one up each other. Oh, you got sexually assaulted in 2020? I was the first one, baby. 2019 out here. Yes, sir. Anybody got 2018? Anybody go back a little further than that? Alrighty. Watson's lawyer, Rusty Hardin, issued a statement March 23rd, denying the accusations. Quote, any allegation that Deshaun forced a woman to commit a sexual act is completely false. So that's where we're at. These women saying that he did it and that he's saying that he didn't. Classic, right? All right, but that's not all. Nike. Oh, man, now the endorsements are starting to get taken away. Now all these companies are like, all right, now 15 we were fine with, but now we're starting 18, 20. Deshaun, 20. Matt Lauer didn't even have 20. Deshaun, come on. So Nike out here has suspended its endorsements deal with Deshaun Watson amid the sexual assault and inappropriate behavior allegations made against Houston Texans quarterback, the company told CNBC in a statement. So, this just sucks. Because even if Deshaun Watson kind of gets found not innocent, let's just kind of play devil advocates here and say all those women are lying. Deshaun Watson is truly kind of innocent here. Just kind of all this kind of the wording about it, him having an erect penis and touching the massage therapist's hand with his erect penis. He'll never get those sponsorships back because now it's in a bad light. Whenever you think of Deshaun Watson, this kind of story is tied to him. Now, if he did it, then yes, then he deserves to have all this taken away. But if he is truly innocent, then it's just truly unfortunate because they'll always have that stigma attached against them. So, losing these endorsements definitely going to hurt. Hopefully he saved enough money where, if, all these allegations are true and he makes no more money, then, hopefully he can try to, live out his rest of his life somewhere, hopefully in private, away from a lot of people. But yeah, the money is starting to get taken away from Deshaun Watson. So we'll see, is he going to start settling some of these lawsuits? All right, 100,000. Everybody wants 100,000. What is that? 2.2 million I have to give up. I can afford that for this story to go away if everybody's asking for the 100,000, like we kind of saw in the other quote that we just read. So we got the he said, she said versus Deshaun Watson in the victims. We got the big companies, these big corporations taking away their endorsements, and then there's a third party at play, folks, and that's the media, that's social media, and that's just people, because here we go, people are actively harassing Deshaun Watson's accusers on Instagram and slandering her business. So here we go, and just a lot of people just being, thinking they're being funny or smurfy or anything like that, and this is kind of the bad part of social media, where you're kind of anonymous online and you're gonna go and harass a sexual assault victim. I mean, come on, it's not really funny. I mean, unobjectively, in a scenario where comedy should be played, where nothing really matters and nobody's feelings get hurt, and that's kind of what comedy is. In an alternate universe, where nobody takes anything seriously, this would be funny in that situation. But in the real world, application of comedy, it might be going a little bit too far here. But let's see what people are saying on this girl's page and Instagram. So, alrighty. And this guy brings up a great point here. This man quotes out on Twitter, "If you wonder why some women are afraid to come out about sexual assault, this is why. Look at the comment section of the women that came forward against Deshaun Watson." So this is what people are saying under her Instagram business post here. Quote, "Imagine trying to ruin Deshaun Watson's career. Cap, clout chaser. Imagine trying to ruin someone's career. Stop the cap about Deshaun. My boy Deshaun did nothing. DM for collab." DM for collab. Liar. You and Tony Busby a disgrace. I mean, especially on this high profile celebrity, and you're going against a face of a franchise of an NFL team. I mean, we all know fans are crazy out here. Buffalo Bills fans jump through flaming tables on the regular to support their team. You don't think they're going to go after somebody on social media because their franchise star player, that's really the only good player that the team's had in a huge long time, and the only good player that's still there after kind of that horrendous ownership and kind of head coaching positions, Bill O'Brien being absolutely garbage over there? You don't think their fans are going to slander this woman? But it gets even worse here. What else do we get? They're going on kind of her review page on Google and leaving 1-star reviews here. This guy puts up here we go, rated at 1 star. "Came here in January 2020 because of back pain I experienced from overextending myself in the gym. Ashley was very professional until when my session was up, she tried to pressure me to paying more money to, quote, feel good. Disgusting. I just said no thanks and left promptly." So, he's kind of saying, hey, no, she's the one. She's asking for the happy ending money at the end of the massage. Another 1-star reviews here. Another 1-star review with the message, "Ashley was very unprofessional. She was in a very bad mood when I arrived and her work didn't work at all. The cupping actually hurt more than it usually would feel. Not impressed." And then the other review here, "I guess this is why she's trying to hustle money out of Watson. Her business wasn't doing good, which is obvious by the lack of reviews." I mean, geez, they are just going after this girl who is just trying to kind of speak her truth out here and, tell and warn people and just try to protect people from Deshaun Watson's potential sexual assault behavior out here. So we get all three phases out here, man. And that's why, I don't really want to tie it in too much, but when we're just talking about, society as a general and kind of all the kind of just this race stuff going on of, hate crimes, all these people are racist all the time. Half of the people that are doing malicious things just think they're funny, like all these people on social media who are going on her Instagram page and all that. They think it's funny. And like I said, objectively, it's a little funny in a world where, nothing matters and nothing is taken seriously. That's where it's funny, but not in a real life application like this. And then, it's just, half of the people are just trying to be funny, and, the other half are, really, out there for malicious intent. So let's all relax on, the racist stuff a little bit. I know it's hard, and I know, I shouldn't really be talking because I am white, I am white, so, I don't face, racism every single day and stuff like that. I get it. I truly do. But, it's just some people, a lot of the times, just trying to be funny, just trying to get a reaction, just trying to, get noticed for the clout. Just don't take it too seriously. That's going to be the main point there. But that's where this Deshaun Watson allegation is winding up right now. Expect a lot more to be heard. I mean, we're seeing, still, people are coming out every single day on this, man. We are still getting, the last update was last week with 18, and like we just said, we're up at 22 now. So we'll see what happens, but it's definitely not a great look for Deshaun Watson out here ruining people's livelihoods and their ability to make a living. Definitely never a great spot to find yourself in. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day, and we'll keep updating on the story, but not looking real good for the man. Alrighty, let's head on. Let's keep going to another pretty good story here, an uplifting story. We just saw Derrick Henry going through his insane workout the other 2 weeks ago on Twitter, about him kind of balancing on the ball, doing push-ups on an arm resistance band in a yoga ball, and then we saw Ryan Tannehill try to kind of replicate the video in a funny manner, having his wife put the chain purse around his neck, and then we get another video right here of Chris Carson, the running back for the Seahawks, who's played 4 seasons in the league and had 2,000-yard seasons. So we'll give him that. And he's kind of, replicating Derrick Henry's workout with a little bit of a twist, only doing one leg on the yoga ball there and still doing the push-ups. But still, look at how much these players are shaking while doing this workout. And then when we compare it to Derrick Henry, the man he's solid as a rock out there, folks. This man's shaking, he's doing it a little bit, better with the one leg on the medicine ball, but still, look at these forearms. And we saw Ryan Tannehill literally barely could do even one rep. He was shaking so much. So that just goes to show just how solid and how freakishly built Derrick Henry is. All these other, NFL athletes trying to do the same workout, and they are shaking like leaves out here, folks. So we'll see who's going to be the next kind of athlete to kind of take on the Derrick Henry challenge, but I'm all about it because Derrick Henry's the best running back in the league, and if people want to compete with him, you got to start working out like him. So I love that everybody's kind of taking this workout and elevating it to kind of get better than Derrick Henry. Don't think it's going to work, but I definitely love the attempt to do so. And I respect the heck out of it. So very well done to Chris Carson. Let's see who is up next here on the, what do we even call this? There is a name for this? Elevated yoga ball resistance band push-up? Is that a little bit too long? Whatever it is, Derrick Henry's the GOAT at it. So try that. Try this in your next workout session, folks. That's gosh darn tough, man. I don't even think I would be able to get the form to try a rep. All right, let's keep going here. What else we got up next? All righty, Adam Schefter going out on a little bit of a limb here. Adam Schefter is confident the 49ers will take Mac Jones at the number 3 overall pick. Interesting here. I'm not really getting all this Mac Jones. He looked good out there, but like we said, it was a loaded roster, and he only had one real season of starting at Alabama. He backed up Tua when he got injured. That was about a couple of games, maybe 4 or 5. And, Tua was still having success that season. Mac Jones had a little less success than Tua did in that kind of same season when he took over. And then this season, he had an absolutely phenomenal season. Don't get us wrong. But at the end of the day, he had three NFL draft prospects who are potentially all going to go in the first 15 picks, honestly. Najee Harris, Devontae Smith will probably be the first wide receivers taken off the board. Jalen Waddle will probably be the third wide receiver taken off the board besides Jamar Chase. So he had an absolutely stacked offensive roster in a great scheme, in a great kind of program of Alabama. You're getting coached by Nick Saban, all of this, the great history there. So, we can kind of accredit most of that success of Mac Jones for those reasons, the stacked roster and learning from Nick Saban. So not really sure how he's going to work here in the NFL. I'm definitely rooting for the man. Like I said, I don't want to see anybody flounder. I want to see the best competition going against the best competition on a weekly basis. That's what I'm about, folks. I'm about competition. I'm about the best of the best, and let's see who's the best at the end of the day. I don't want to see, garbage versus greatness, because greatness is going to win, and it's just, it's a waste of an opportunity of greatness v. greatness. So Mac Jones here, Adam Schefter's feeling confident that he's going to go number 3 overall. But what does Mac Jones bring that Jimmy Garoppolo does not bring? I don't see really any difference between them. I think the 49ers are going to try and get Justin Fields, because that's kind of the direction the NFL is heading. These dual threat quarterbacks that can do anything, that extra kind of playmaker on the field with his legs. I mean, we see it just crushes NFL defenses out there. That's why Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson are all kind of, why we talk about them and kind of, the elite quarterbacks, the upper echelon tier quarterbacks in the league currently right now. And that's why they have success. That's why the Chiefs have gotten to, 2 straight NFL championship games. That's why the Cardinals were looking pretty good in the first half of the season. They unfortunately floundered in the back end. I think they still made the playoffs, though. And, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are making the playoffs every single season. So we see this working in the NFL, and I really just wouldn't understand why the 49ers would see so much difference in Mac Jones versus Jimmy Garoppolo. It's kind of like what the Panthers just did with Sam Darnold over Teddy Bridgewater. Are they that different? Is Sam Darnold so much? What are you seeing in Sam Darnold that is so much better than Teddy Bridgewater? And if Adam Schefter is correct here with the 49ers taking Mac Jones, what are the 49ers seeing in Mac Jones that they haven't seen in Jimmy Garoppolo? Because Jimmy Garoppolo has proven in the NFL that he can get you to the big game. He can get you a quarter away from winning the big game. Mac Jones, he won a national championship with an absolutely stacked roster. And you think he's going to be able to translate to the NFL just like that? Way better than Jimmy Garoppolo has? I don't know, man. I'm not getting all this kind of what people are doing here with their quarterbacks and kind of where they feel like these quarterbacks should be ranked and their talent-wise compared to what they have already. I think really Tom Brady has just set this league on fire. Him getting traded and winning a Super Bowl in the same season. It's got these teams thinking, man, we don't have to have this rebuild. We don't have to have this 2-3 year rebuild. We can just bring another quarterback in and win instantly. All right, we're going to do that because we haven't won with this man, so get rid of him. He can't do it. Let's see if anybody else can do it, and if he can't, then next year we'll do the same thing. We'll get a new quarterback. We'll have a new quarterback every single season because it obviously doesn't matter because Tom Brady just did it. So why are we kind of still, in the past when Tom Brady's, in the future playing 5D chess out here? I don't know, man. We'll see where it happens. Absolutely going to be wild on draft night. It's great that we kind of had this surprise draft. We all know Trevor Lawrence is going number 1 to the Jags, but really number 2, 3, 4, we have no idea. Atlanta doesn't even want to be at 4 anymore. We don't know what the Jets are going to do. Are they going to, well, we know they're going to go after a quarterback, but what quarterback are they going to get? And then what's that going to leave them with the 49ers? Because they may be able to kind of screw over the 49ers depending on what the 49ers want to do. So is this a fake story out here to kind of get the Jets kind of off track? Because now the 49ers know the Jets are in kind of the spot to kind of ruin the 49ers. If you don't think the 49ers have their heart set on one quarterback, I think you're sadly mistaken. There's no way you trade up in the draft all the way up to number 3 and trade away first round picks in the future years if you don't have your eyes clear cut set on one individual prospect. It's not like, okay, we could get this one guy or this guy, because if that was the case, then they could have just moved back even more. They could have just kind of, all right, well, let's go not all the way up to number 3. Maybe let's go to number 6 or number 5. The Eagles wanted to trade out of the draft. Why didn't they go to number 6, knowing that the Dolphins weren't going to get a quarterback and, maybe the Falcons aren't going to get a quarterback, so they could have gotten that other pick differently or kind of later in the draft, but they moved up to number 3. Why did they do that? Because they have their eyes, heart set on one quarterback, a specific quarterback. Don't think it's Mac Jones. I think it's Justin Fields. That would be the only person that makes sense. That's the only quarterback in this draft that really can't do what Jimmy Garoppolo does, and that's a dual threat quarterback. Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, those are kind of pocket passers. Zach Wilson's got decent mobility. Mac Jones has a little bit less decent mobility than Zach Wilson does. does. But at the end of the day, Jimmy Garoppolo really has no mobility. So the only reason why you would 100% move off of Jimmy Garoppolo, who has proven to get you to the Super Bowl, and so the only reason to move off of Jimmy Garoppolo is to go get a quarterback that can do something that Jimmy Garoppolo can't, and that's Justin Fields. So we'll see what happens here in the draft. We'll see if the Jets kind of stick it to the 49ers. It's Robert Saleh, folks, as ex-defensive coordinator for the 49ers, newly head coach for the Jets. I think he kind of understood some level of thinking in kind of this decision, because you don't just kind of make this decision in the offseason. You kind of have some of these thoughts in the regular season. All right, I think we're starting to think about moving off of Jimmy Garoppolo. Maybe Robert Saleh heard, oh, they were kind of interested in Justin Fields when I was there. They're going to take Justin Fields. I'm going to take Justin Fields. Justin Fields is the Jets quarterback, 49ers. You can get whatever you want, but you're not getting Justin Fields because you like him. Well, I think I like him too. So maybe this is a story to throw off the Jets. That's what I'm going to kind of mark this as. This is Adam Schefter cahooting with the 49ers organization to mess with the Jets organization, Robert Saleh, so they don't draft Justin Fields. They draft Mac Jones, thinking that the 49ers want to draft Mac Jones. So Robert Saleh tries to fool that plan by drafting Mac Jones, and then the 49ers are like, ha, 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 you've activated my trap card. Justin Fields at number 3. Super Bowl championship in 2021. Bingo, bango. That's how you play the system, baby. So we'll see how that all unfolds and if that narrative's correct, because I think it is, folks. Alrighty, what else do we got on tap here? Richard Sherman talking here. Alrighty, he's got a podcast with Chris Collinsworth. A little interesting. I never thought those two would be kind of like friends and pal, buddy with each other, but they have a podcast like every single week. So I love it. I respect the heck out of it. And I have not listened to it, but I've heard some quotes from it. We bring up the quotes here on the show. But here we go. Richard Sherman. We all know he's a cornerback, so we kind of have to value his opinion a little bit more than, other people's opinions. So Richard Sherman on kind of who's going to be the best cornerback coming out of the 2021 draft. He says it's going to be J.C. Horn from South Carolina. Quote, he's the guy I think is going to have the most successful career in the NFL. And we have already looked at him in our NFL draft prospect kind of countdown, and we loved what we saw from him. Great technique, great lockdown in the red zone. We saw kind of quarterbacks taking that one-on-one shot against J.C. Horn, and no, he was breaking it all up. Does not flounder in the red zone, and that's exactly where you want your kind of players to thrive, in the red zone. Bend but not break mentality. That's how I would 1,000% coach my defense. All right, we gave up 20. All right, we gave up 15. All right, we gave up another 25 yards. Now they're kind of in our 30-yard line. All right, let's start locking it up. Let's get it done. Let's force them into 3rd and long. Let's get it down. Let's get it done on 3rd down, and let's only settle for a field goal, and that will kind of give us momentum building up for the next kind of round defensively. We hold you to field goals. If you're settling for field goals and we're getting touchdowns, it's going to just kind of weigh down and kind of disrupt that offensive flow, and then we can start locking it up even more and more defensively when they're trying to go deep to kind of, because now it's 14-3 now because we held them to the field goal. Now they need a touchdown. Now they're kind of going a little bit more desperately, and we can make a play on the ball and get the turnover and turn it into a 21-3 game, and just kind of that it's basically over at that point. So we'll see what happens in this draft. If J.C. Horn is the first overall. But Richard Sherman, can you get on a team first before you talk about everybody else's career? Because I want to still see this man in the league, and we kind of saw him going big at the Jets, really at kind of the first start of the offseason, but we really haven't heard of anything of Richard Sherman since then. So maybe the market for Richard Sherman is drying up a little bit. Definitely want to still see this man on a team somewhere, because he's got a great history in this league, and he is still kind of decently a lockdown corner, and maybe still not a number 1 corner, but he's still definitely a solid number 2 corner out there in this league. So definitely want to see this man on a team somewhere. Robert Saleh not instantly calling him is a little bit of a red flag, knowing that they've been working together for the last 2 seasons. So we'll see what happens here in the draft. April 29th, we're going to be having our live draft show, twitch.tv/takesbyfans, about 8 o'clock. I think the draft starts at 8:30. We'll have definite dates and times, probably later this week, honestly. And we'll post them all on the show and our social medias and all that. So no worries there. You will not be able to not hear about it. I'll say that. I'll say that. Alrighty. So Richard Sherman, get on a team, but I'm definitely looking out for J.C. Horn here in the draft. Love him. Alrighty, another move here. Titans hire ex-Eagles defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz as their senior defensive assistant. Alrighty, Jim Schwartz, he's got a long history in this league. Being a head coach didn't fare too well, better as a defensive coordinator. And I feel like Jim Schwartz always has like one great season as a defensive coordinator where he's like top 5 defense in the league rushing and against the pass. But then he kind of gets figured out a little bit, and then he goes to a new team, and then he repeats the same process over again. But that's kind of the direction that the Titans are heading, more defensive focused here. They've still got some nice pieces defensively. What do we got here? Do I not have it up anymore? Darn it. I thought I had it up. But, you know, they got like Kevin Byard still. They unfortunately did lose their edge rusher, Jadeveon Clowney, unfortunately. What else do we get here? Let me just look this up. Thought I had that tab open. Unfortunate. But we're right back at it right here. Their defense, what do we got? Bud Dupree. They just got Janoris Jenkins, Kevin Byard. So their back end, you know, their corners, their safeties, their back end of their defense is pretty good. Let's see if they kind of, you know, beef up their defensive line, maybe their linebackers a little bit more through the draft, because I think the Titans are kind of like, this is how we have to win now. We've tried winning offensively in this league, and it really can't work with Ryan Tannehill because he's got a little bit a lower ceiling. He still can get you to that AFC Championship game because we've seen that, but he doesn't have the ability to go out and straight win that game quite yet. So Titans are kind of, you know, they just lost one of their big wide receivers. They still have A.J. Brown, but they lost Corey Davis. So we'll see if they kind of, you know, replace him in the draft, or if they just focus heavy on the defense. We see, you know, a defensive hire right here, getting their defense more shored up, because like I said, I think that's going to be the direction the Titans are moving. We have to win defensively. Let Ryan Tannehill be the game manager. Let Derrick Henry be kind of our main weapon offensively, and we're just going to be in some dogfights, folks. That's how we're going to win it here. I'm not going to rely on Ryan Tannehill anymore, because we've tried to do that for the last 2 seasons, and it just does not work. It gets us to the playoffs, which we're thankful for, but we're trying to win championships out here. We're not all about just in the playoffs. We've gotten to the playoffs, so the next thing to do is to get better and win the playoff games and win the championship. So Titans are moving into a little bit of a more defensive direction this season, more defensive pickups on the defensive end side of the ball, and also in the coaching staff of the defensive side of the ball as well. So we'll see what happens in the draft. I think they're going to go a little defensive heavy, have that defense start kind of playing in some like 20-14 games, 20-17 games, 21-20 games, winning at the buzzer, winning at the end of the fourth quarter here. So we'll see if the Titans make any more drastic. Do they go and get Richard Sherman? We just saw that they kind of got rid of their corner that made the big old play in the Super Bowl that was with the Patriots, right on the 1-yard line against Russell Wilson. What's his name? He's kind of fading into oblivion. Malcolm Butler. They just got rid of Malcolm Butler, so they're looking for another corner. Do they go and pick up Richard Sherman, a nice veteran presence? Do they draft J.C. Horn? Could you imagine Richard Sherman and J.C. Horn on the same team? I mean, Richard Sherman speaking highly of this man. That would be a deadly combo. So watch out for the Titans to go defensive heavy in the draft, folks. Alrighty, let's kind of move on to some NBA stories right here. And, you know, I would say Steph Curry has a little bit of a good chance to win MVP just because of this one stat alone right here. The Warriors have the worst offense in the last 5 seasons when Steph Curry is off the court this year. And, I mean, that's kind of the definition of MVP, most valuable player. Not best player, not who's got the best stats player. It's most valuable. So you take that person off the team, and they just crumble and flounder. It's taking a little bit of away from James Harden's MVP, because we've just seen Kyrie Irving win the last 2 games without James Harden, so that's taking away from his case of MVP. It's also taking away the case of Joel Embiid's MVP, because they were winning games without Joel Embiid. Now, granted, they were the 76ers were facing very lackluster teams during that stretch, but still at the end of the day, they still won and were looking pretty good. Everybody was still faring very nicely on the floor. So I would say those couple of these kind of last 2 weeks here, James Harden MVP case has kind of dropped not significantly, but big slightly. And Joel Embiid's MVP case has also dropped slightly because of that. But Steph Curry, I mean, did you just see him last night? Did you just see the shots he was making in the clutch last night to beat the Bucks? I mean, it was absolutely magnificent. We're going to watch him here, but definitely can give Steph Curry the case for the MVP. The only reason why we why we don't have him very high up on the MVP race is, yes, that, you know, he definitely makes the team great, and he's the only, like, if he wasn't on the team, they would be kind of like the Timberwolves, just absolutely garbage. But now, you know, why we don't have them is because they're 10th in the West. I mean, you still need to win games. Like, you can still be good, but if you're still not winning games, I mean, then what's valuable about you? You're valuable to keep the game close? Well, that's not what I want for my MVP. I want my MVP to be the reason why they're winning games, be the single-handed reason why they're kind of, you know, in the thick of it in the playoff hunt. So, yes, Steph Curry has a good case at MVP. Now, if they can go and rally off some nice wins here and get maybe like top 5 here in the West, then yes, then we can start talking heavy on Steph Curry on winning MVP this season. But he's got to start winning a little bit more games, has to kind of get into the playoff hunt. Would like you to be kind of maybe in the top 5 of the Western Conference. You don't got to be the best team. You don't even have to be the top 2 best teams, but you definitely have to prove that you're winning, prove that you can single-handedly elevate your team against the better teams decently on a consistent basis. Not, you know, going 1 for 1 or winning every single game, but we got to see you start winning some games, and they're, what, 8 games out from that 5th seed in the West, so it's a big drop-off here in the West from that number 5 seed to the number 10th seed in the play-in tournament. So, yes, Steph Curry has a good case here, but we have to see him start winning more games. We have to see him start winning more games first. All right, where do we leave off here? Right here. All right, so, I mean, just look at what Steph Curry was doing out here. Let's bring up this one first. Here we go. Warriors down 5 with 2 minutes left. Steph Curry gets hold of the offensive rebound and just fires it, just lets it fly. Look how deep this is. It's not deep for Curry, it's deep for everybody else, but oh my gosh, how clutch is that to make it a 2-point game? Get the energy back in the building. That's what Steph Curry brings to your team. Yes, the big time ability, but then everybody feeds off of that electrifying shot he just made. Just look at how crazy everybody was going there, and there's no fans in the stands, or there's limited fans. There's no shown fans. That's how few fans there are. That's why the Steph Curry era was so good, because he was electrifying. Everybody would stand up on their feet, and that would just drain all the energy and take all the kind of the motivation, I'm missing the word for it. The motivation, the momentum, that's the word we're looking for. You're taking away all the momentum from the Bucks when everybody, arena full of 50,000 screaming fans of Steph Curry, an electrifying 3, all standing up, going wild. You're like, what the heck? You can't even hear anymore. You're like, what the hell? Did a bomb go off in here? Why is everybody screaming? No, it's Steph Curry hitting great threes like this, wild threes like this, catch and shoot threes with kind of contorting his body in all different directions to try and square up with the basket. I mean, folks, absolutely magnificent here, and another reason why he can be MVP. I mean, a great win against the Bucks last night. Yes, they didn't have Giannis, but Thaddeus, he stepped up very well. Another Antetokounmpo who played absolutely well here, and it was still a close game here, so an absolutely well-deserved MVP candidate potential for Steph Curry. Great win last night. And then this is how they got it done. Warriors up 1 with 7 seconds left. 122-121 against the Bucks here. Bucks shoot up a 3. Does not go. Gets a little bit blocked there. And then Brook Lopez has a chance to kind of catch and shoot off that missed 3 attempt, and he misses it as well, kind of from the mid-range. So Warriors able to hold on defensively. Steph Curry's offense propels them past this Bucks team. So, man, oh man, Steph Curry is an absolute freaking beast. Alrighty, let's move on here. Lakers getting a new addition. Ben McLemore has agreed to the Lakers. Alrighty. Well, we know, The Lakers are a little bit not deep at the moment, not having Andre Drummond and not having, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So they're definitely gearing up for a nice long playoff run here. We just saw the Clippers get DeMarcus Cousins. Alrighty, they're gearing up. Ben McLemore, coming from Houston this season, putting up 7 points, 2 rebounds. Nothing truly great here, but let's see if he's able to kind of work with LeBron James. All right, McAfee, you can stop popping up on my computer. We're not renewing you, ever. All right, but let's see what McLemore was doing this season for the Rockets. All righty, he was a starter for 4 games, and in the starting lineup, playing 29 minutes, he put up 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. That's not bad overall. Coming off the bench when he only plays 14 minutes, 6 points, 1 rebound, not even an assist. So we'll see kind of how he fits here. The Lakers just need a little bit of depth now, and, for a shooting guard for Ben McLemore here, should fare very well here for this Lakers team. So Lakers getting a little bit deep here. That's exactly what they need. Now let's just get LeBron James and Anthony Davis healthy, and they can start winning more games and start improving their playoff positioning, because they have unfortunately dropped all the way from the number 2, 3 seed to now down to number 5. Still has a little bit of cushion before dropping down to number 6, 2 games over the Blazers, and we know the Blazers, they just lost to the Clippers last night. Not a great look for them. We'll talk about that game when we get to it. But yeah, the Lakers, hopefully they don't keep free falling here. 4-6 in the last 10. We all know that's because of no LeBron James, no Anthony Davis. Alrighty, here we go. The last story to talk about. Here we go. Just a little fun one right here. Hoop Central here on Twitter. The Build Your Ultimate Starting 5. They give you a certain dollar amount, rank the players by dollar amount as well, and that's how you have to build your starting 5. So I'm sure you've all seen these. I love doing these just kind of, whenever I interact with them, whenever they cross my face. So let's do it here on the show. Let's see who is going to be our ultimate starting 5. We've only have $15 to spend. At the $5 tier, the highest tier, $5 players are Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Zion Williamson, Devin Booker, and Donovan Mitchell. The $4 tier is Jaylen Brown, Ben Simmons, John Morant, Brandon Ingram, and Trae Young. The $3 tier, Jamal Murray, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Domantas Sabonis, Bam Adebayo, De'Aaron Fox. The $2 category, oh my God, look at the value here. LaMelo Ball, John Collins, DeAndre Ayton, Michael Porter Jr., oh my God, and Jared Allen. Oh my God, I'm about to build my team just off those $2. And then the $1 tier, Lonzo Ball, yeah, he should be 50 cents. He should be 50 cent tier. Lonzo Ball, $1 tier. Anthony Edwards, $1 tier. Miles Turner, McCall Bridges, and Tyler Hero also. Or no, that's not McCall Bridges. Who is that? I don't even know who that is. But either way, we're not gonna be we're not gonna be taking that. McCall. It's not McCall Bridges, is it? Why would they put his name as McCall if it wasn't McCall Bridges? I don't think that's him. No, that's him. Yeah, it is McCall Bridges. Look, that's the same picture right there. You just got to Google him. It's the same picture that they put up in that that frame right there. There it is. That's the picture right there. That's where it comes from. That's funny. Alrighty, so there it is. So we got $15. Let's see who we are going to get here. Well, I think I'm going to take Michael Porter Jr. here for $2. I mean, that's great value. So we're going to get Michael Porter Jr., a nice kind of, number 3 on our roster that can hit the 3 as well. Alrighty, for our point guard, let's start with a point guard. Do we spend the $5 on Donovan Mitchell? That's a lot, but he is clutch as well. He is clutch, though. So we get the clutch gene from Donovan Mitchell. Do we splurge on Donovan Mitchell here? We're not going to get Jason Tatum. Zion Williamson, he's good, but he's a little too short. But he is still efficient. I mean, he's averaging like 20-plus points on 50% shooting. It's absolutely fantastic. All right, what else do we get here? Having Ben Simmons on our team is great for the defense, so let's pick him up for $4. So we'll have Michael Porter Jr., Ben Simmons. That's $6 total. We have to get somebody that can kind of facilitate the floor. Let's get we're either gonna go big and splurge on Donovan Mitchell, get good value with Trae Young at $4, or even get great value with Jamal Murray at $3 here. But let's go with Trae Young for $4. So we're up to 10 with 2 spots left. Let's get Bam Adebayo. No, we're going to get DeAndre Ayton for $2, and then that leaves us $3 to spend. Let's get another shooter, and we'll go De'Aaron Fox. So that's going to be our starting lineup. We've got Michael Porter Jr., Ben Simmons, De'Aaron Fox, Trae Young, and DeAndre Ayton. That is our starting five for $15 right there. Is that good? John Morant or Trae Young? Trae Young with DeAndre Ayton should work. I mean, him and Clint Capella work. So Trae Young with DeAndre Ayton's perfect. Michael Porter Jr., another kind of great, kind of big that can play good defense and hit the three. Then we got the great defense and a little bit of facilitator on the floor of Ben Simmons. Trae Young and Ben Simmons may not work, just because you kind of both need their... Well, Trae Young needs the ball in their hands, and like Ben Simmons, he can't shoot. But we'll have him just there for the defense. So that is our lineup. Trae Young, Ben Simmons, DeAndre Ayton, Michael Porter Jr., and De'Aaron Fox for $15. Alrighty, that's what we've got today for the stories. Let's head over to the NBA. We'll break down what happened yesterday around the league, and then we'll do our moneymaker for today, and then we'll end the show doing the playoff predictor if the season ended right now today. 2/3 of the season already accomplished. All right, so we'll see who wins it there. Who we think would win the season right now. Alrighty, but first, let's see what happened yesterday in the NBA. So the first game up, Bulls and the Pacers. Yes, sir, we called this one perfectly. Bulls -1, easy money there. This Bulls team riding now with, Vucevic and Zach LaVine getting it done. 2 straight wins now after that 3-game kind of loss ever since he's got there. So we can start buying this Bulls team now. Absolutely love it. So Bulls win 113-97, a 16-point win. Only had to swallow 1 point. Talk about value, folks. There it was. And we swallowed it up. So here we go. Still rocking with kind of the same lineup here. Thomas Satoransky, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, Thaddeus Young, Patrick Williams. That's kind of what they've been rocking with. So Satoransky here, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. Great night by him. Great night by really all the starters here. Zach LaVine, 19 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds. Vucevic back on his Vucevic stuff here. 32 points, 5 assists, 17 rebounds, 6 of those offensive. He hit 4 of 7 from 3. Fantastic. Stretching the floor, being a great big classic Vucevic things out here. Thaddeus Young still doing great. 14 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He shot 60%. And then Patrick Williams to round out the starters. 10 points, 2 assists, 4 steals, 3 rebounds. So they've got the shooters, they got the defense, they got the facilitator. They've got everything on this team, and I love this starting roster now. They're all getting it done. And then they got some great contributions off the bench. Lauri Markkanen here, 15 points, 6 rebounds. Great night off the bench. And then Kobe White playing 31 minutes, 13 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds. We'll give it to him as well. So great by the starters, and they're decently deep here. We can get, Lauri Markkanen and Kobe White both putting up 10+ points here whenever we need it. So that's what we're talking about. Absolutely love this Bulls team, folks. Watch out for them. All right, they go against the Pacers. Now, Sabonis, we knew that he was a game-time decision, but he ended up not playing, so that was even better value. I don't know what the line actually closed at. I know that we locked it in at -1, but I'm a little interested to see if it was kind of minus, like maybe even 4 without Sabonis. Definitely shouldn't have been -1 without Sabonis. That did not make any sense. But let's talk about the Pacers now. Karis LeVert, leading scorer for the squad. He is kind of settling down now and being efficient and being good out here. Just a little unfortunate that nobody else can really kind of keep up the scoring besides Karis LeVert. So Karis LeVert, 20 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. He shot 2 of 4 from 3 and 50% overall from the field. Edmund Sumner, he put up 50 points on 75% shooting, so that was good. 1 steal, 1 assist, and 1 rebound to go along with that. Miles Turner, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Doug McDermott, 11 points on 33% shooting. Not great there. And then Justin Holiday, 2 points on 1 of 4 shooting. So, I mean, no real great scoring here by the starters. And then when we look at the bench, nothing truly great. Jeremy Lamb put up 15 points off the bench, but the second highest scores off the bench were TJ McConnell 6 points and Jakar Sampson 6 points. It's just we're not getting any great scoring here. Sabonis really has to go and start putting up 25 plus points every single game. Karis LeVert's going to end up having to put up 20 points every single game, and then we're going to just have to get solid contributions by everybody else, the rest of the starting 3 and at least 2 players here off the bench. And I don't know, Aaron Holiday can go for 10 plus points. He hasn't really been doing that. Jeremy Lamb just went for 15, so he's got the ability, but we don't see that by the Pacers on kind of a consistent basis here. So classic Pacers running into classic Pacers problems, only putting up 97 points last night. Alrighty, let's go to the Hawks and the Pelicans. Hawks with a nice win here. A 4-game winning streak now ever since Lou Williams has came to that bench. That's all the Hawks were missing, folks. We've been saying it all along. They just needed that third consistent scorer. John Collins was always in and out of the lineup, and they didn't have the bench. Lou Williams here, consistent, getting it done, and another 4 straight wins here for the Hawks. So absolutely love it. So let's talk about the Hawks first, then we'll get into the Pelicans. So here we go. The Hawks. Trae Young, 30 points, 12 assists. Yes, sir. Let's get it done. 6 of 7 from 3. He only went to the line 6 times. Magnificent workout here by Trae Young. He shot 47% overall, but I'll take that on 30 points and 12 assists. I've got no problem with that. Bogdanovic is getting a more kind of important role here for the Hawks. He's kind of being their second best scorer on the starting rotation, so I absolutely love that. We see John Collins once again not playing here for the Hawks. Once again, I just said he's always up and down, in and out of the lineup. So Bogdanovic here getting a great role. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists on 11 shots. I mean, efficient himself. He shot 72%, 5 of 8 from 3. So fantastic work by Bogdanovic, getting more incorporated into the offensive role here for the starters. That is definitely going to be needed. Clint Capella still getting it done. 12 points, 12 rebounds. Magnificent. Plus 31 on the floor. He was the highest plus minus, so getting it done defensively as well. Solomon Hill, 5 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. He only took 5 shots, so that explains the 5 points. And he was a plus 29 on the floor, so the great defense there. And then Kevin Huerter, little light. Well, he actually did good out here. Not defensively. He was only plus 4 on the court, but plus 4. I mean, all these other players are plus 26. What was this final score here? 123, 127. So let's go back to Kevin Huerter here. 17 points on 63% shooting and 3 of 4 from 3. So he shot absolutely great. The 17 points is absolutely fantastic in this entire starting lineup for the Hawks. If this is how they're going to start playing consistently, watch out for this Hawks team because they have the bench to kind of back it up as well. Danilo Gallinari still out there, 14 points on 45% shooting, and that brings up Lou Williams. 12 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, and only 18 minutes on the floor. Magnificent. 2 of 2 from 3. Fantastic. Even greater. Can't really talk up Lou Williams enough here for this Hawks team. Truly the missing piece. They've all got it going. They just put up 123 points and got another win. So absolutely love this Hawks team. Got it done. Absolutely. Alrighty, that brings us to the Pelicans now. Alrighty, Zion's in, but Brandon Ingram is not in, unfortunate. And also, Isaiah Thomas got into the game, and he had an actually great night. So we'll talk about him when we talk about the bench. But let's go over the starters here for the Pelicans. Lonzo Ball, 12 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. He shot 4 of 14 from 3. So a little wild out there. Taking 14 threes is a little much, I think. I did see a set that he does actually have the most threes made by point guards, I think, this season, which actually kind of threw me off. We look at his stats every single day, and we kind of go over every single game, every single day, obviously. But I did not really see that. That's, I don't take really kind of, overall season stats too much into account. But when I saw that, I was like, gosh darn, is he that efficient or just kind of that consistent of a three-point shooter? He shot 28% here, 4 of 14. But overall, I don't know, man. But overall, 12 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds. I'll give it to him. Eric Bledsoe, 14 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. Steven Adams, 6 points, 8 rebounds. Then we get Zion Williamson, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 66% shooting. He's just so freaking efficient out there. And then James Johnson filling in for Brandon Ingram here. 8 points, 2 rebounds on 3 of 5 shooting. So besides Zion Williamson, nobody really put up the major points like that. Little lackluster throughout. Off the bench, Isaiah Thomas comes off, 10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Great night. He didn't shoot efficient, 4 of 13, but I mean, first game back, I'll take a double-digit performance, a +7 off the bench as well. So when he's out there getting it done defensively. And then Jackson Hayes, he unfortunately did get injured in this game, but in the 17 minutes he played, 11 points, 7 rebounds in 17 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. Love this man as well. A +8 off the bench when he was on the floor. So Isaiah Thomas, Jackson Hayes got it done off the bench. Unfortunately, nobody else really could put up the scoring numbers, unfortunately. Lonzo taking 14 threes. I don't really love that. But yeah, that's the Hawks Pelicans. Absolutely love this Hawks team. Before we move any further, we have to go back to this Bulls-Pacers game. We have to judge Thaddeus Young's performance here in our 6th Man of the Year race. So 14 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, a +11 in the win. Solid win, so 2 points for the win. And 14 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 5 assists, 7 rebounds compared to everybody else. Solid work. We'll leave it at the +11. That was the, what? Oh, man. Yeah, so we'll leave him at we'll give him 2 points here for that performance. Can earn the way all the way up to 5 to -5 points. We'll give him 2 here, so he goes up to 7 points. Alrighty. Is that the only person that we've missed so far? I think so. Alrighty. Let's keep moving on here. Next game up is going to be the 76ers and the Celtics. Joel Embiid is back, and this is another game that was in our moneymakers last night. 76ers minus, what were they minus? I tweeted it out. -2. We only had to swallow 2 points there. Absolutely magnificent value there. So 76ers get the win, 106-96, a 10-point win for them, just because the Celtics really had no bench, and that's exactly what we were saying. So we'll talk about that when we get there, but let's start here with the 76ers. Back to their main starting lineup of Ben Simmons at the 1, Curry at the 2, Danny Green at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, Joel Embiid at the 5. Now that Joel Embiid is solidly back, hopefully. But Ben Simmons, 12 points, 3 steals, 6 assists, 4 rebounds on 57% shooting. We absolutely love it. Seth Curry, 9 points on 1 of 5 from 3, not the greatest. Joel Embiid, though, 35 points, 6 rebounds, great work. Tobias Harris, 10 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds. He shot 36%, a little bit light in the points department, but with Joel Embiid going for 35, we can kind of forgive it a little bit. And then Danny Green, 17 points on 5 of 6 from 3. That's what we're talking about. So an absolutely great game by Danny Green. Love it. Got it done defensively, got it done from the 3, and that's all we ask for him. So fantastic work. Nothing great here off the bench. Dwight Howard, 4 points. He did have 9 rebounds, though, man. He gets it done on the boards. He doesn't play a lot of minutes, only 14 minutes last night, but those 9 rebounds, we absolutely love that by him. Shake Milton, a little bit of a light game, only 6 points off the bench, but let's shout out Furkman Korkmaz, man. 10 points off the bench in only 13 minutes. We'll take it. 10 points off the bench in a 10-point win. Do we give this man all the credit for the win? I think so. But very well done here. 76ers starters all got it done. Didn't really need the bench too much here, but the bench is there. They still do have the bench. Now let's go to the Celtics team now. So we saw Evan Fournier was not playing, so they really just have nothing great off the bench here. We said that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum would need to both combine for like 80 points if they wanted a chance to win, and they combined a grand total of 37 points. So not even close to that 80 points that they both needed to kind of combine for. But Kemba Walker, 14 points. He shot 2 of 5 from 3. I can live with that. No more 9 3-pointers a game. Let's cut that down a little bit. So 14 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds on 2 of 5 from 3. Not bad overall. Marcus Smart, 14 points. He had 6 turnovers. Holy cow. 3 assists, only 1 rebound, so a little bit of a light night by Marcus Smart. 1 of 3 from 3, nothing great. Robert Williams still at the starting 5 here, 4 points, 9 rebounds. He did decent. I mean, going against, Joel Embiid is no easy feat, and he was only a -5, the best plus minus of the starters here for the Celtics. So I'll give it up for Robert Williams. A decent night out there by him. Jason Tatum, 20 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 3 of 10 from 3, 41% overall. He needed to be a little bit better, knowing that there was no Evan Fournier, so we're really going to have no bench scoring. We needed to see Jason Tatum really start to step it up a little bit more. I'm a little disappointed in Jason Tatum, just a tad. I mean, there is a lot of pressure on him to perform every single game because, I mean, he's their lone kind of superstar here. Jaylen Brown is very close to being a superstar. But Jason Tatum, he has the ability to go and put up 35, 40-plus points when they need to, and we haven't really seen him do that. This is the perfect game to go and do that against the 76ers, one of the best teams there in the East with Joel Embiid, when you are lackluster yourself in the scoring department overall for the roster. So we needed Jason Tatum to really step it up, but we really didn't see that. 20 points is good, but it's not what we needed from him in this game. And then Jaylen Brown to round out the starters here, 17 points, 3 rebounds on 60% shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. Once again, not bad overall. Just needed, once again, he could have been, I want to see Jaylen Brown, start to step it up. Let's start to call him an all-star, a superstar. Let's do that. But he has to kind of stop hiding behind Jason Tatum a little bit, go out there and maybe demand the ball a little bit more, be a little bit more efficient, take a little bit more shots. I mean, if Kemba Walker is taking 9 threes a game, Jaylen Brown should be taking 15, honestly. So we'll see what happens here with the Celtics team. Like we said, they were just a little lackluster last night. Their bench, nothing really great here. Luke Cornett, 6 points in 15 minutes. Grant Williams, 3 points. Romeo Langford, who just got back healthy here, 2 points. Peyton Pritchard, 6 points. Moritz Wagner barely playing the game, no points, 2 rebounds. So, I mean, Taco Fall playing 9 minutes, 2 points, 1 rebound. I mean, just nothing. There's nothing good about the Celtics bench, folks. So the 76ers get the win, 106-96. Now let's judge Joel Embiid's performance on last night. They got the win, so that's 2 points. He led the team in scoring, 6 rebounds to go along with that, plus 12, and a nice 10-point win on the road. So we'll give Joel Embiid 3 points here for his overall performance in the MVP race. So he goes up to a grand total of 6 points and is currently in the lead here based off those points. Alrighty, let's move on to the next game. Next game up, what do we got? Lakers and Raptors, and Lakers are able to beat the Raptors here, man. Oh, man. Very upset that the Raptors couldn't get it done. No Kyle Lowry, no Fred VanVleet still for the Raptors, and still couldn't get it done. A little unfortunate there. So let's start here with the Lakers. Who stepped it up and who was able to get the win? 110-101, so a 9-point win here. Let's see who stepped up for the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder, 12 points, 9 assists. Oh, love that. 2 steals to go along with that. Efficient from the 3, 2 of 2, and 42% overall from the field. So not a bad night by Dennis Schroeder. Got it done defensively as well, plus 7 on the floor. KCP, 13 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. He was efficient, shot 80%, 2 of 2 from 3. So that's what we love to see. Marc Gasol back in the starting lineup. All right, I don't love that. Montrezl Harrell did get ejected from this game very early on. He only played 2 minutes off the bench. So that was kind of a huge bummer for that, and a little undeserved. They got into a big skirmish on the floor. He did shove players, but other players were shoving. So a little unfortunate that he got ejected. I think we actually got the video. Did we got the video? We don't need it. It's not that important. But either way, Montrezl Harrell's going out, and they're still able to win. That's absolutely fantastic. But let's get back to Marc Gasol here. 13 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. He shot 1 of 3 from 3 and 66% overall from the field. So they really were just efficient out here. Besides Kyle Kuzma, we'll get to him in a second. But Markieff Morris, 15 points, 9 rebounds as well on 46% shooting. He shot 3 of 8 from 3. Not terrible overall on that. And then Kyle Kuzma, 8 points, 4 rebounds on 23% shooting, 2 of 11 from 3. I mean, Kyle Kuzma, man, he's like the only one that really didn't step up here, and he didn't even have that decent defense. Yeah, he was a +3, but everybody else was really kind of better. +8 for Markieff Morris, +6 for Marc Gasol, -1 for KCP, so he's a little bit better defensively than that. And then Dennis Schroeder, +7. So Kyle Kuzma, man, still not really stepping it up too much when there's nobody on the floor. LeBron James, Andre Drummond, Anthony Davis. Alrighty, but then we got great contribution here from the bench, so absolutely love that. Like we said, Montrezl Harrell did end up getting ejected, so didn't play, but he would have probably been the leading scorer. The leading scorer was Talen Horton-Tucker off the bench with 17 points. Montrezl Harrell would have had 20 points this game, easy peasy. So Talen Horton-Tucker with the 17 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, absolutely fantastic. We get Devontae Cook, 10 points, 8 rebounds in 16 minutes off the bench, and Alex Caruso, 13 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds off the bench as well. So they were just all efficient. The starters were all efficient. We got 3 players off the bench at 10 plus points. Absolutely great game by this Lakers team, not having any of the big names on their squad. So very well done for the Lakers to get the win here. Everybody really just stepping it up there. Absolutely love that. Great sign. All right, let's go to the Raptors now. Let's see why they lost. Like we said, no Kyle Lowry, no Fred VanVleet. So DeAndre Bembry gets in the starting lineup here at the starting point guard position. 12 points, 5 steals. Wow. 12 points, 5 steals, 3 assists, 5 rebounds on 50% shooting. Gary Trent Jr., a little bit of a lackluster game, not his, at the buzzer game-winning shot games. 11 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 1 of 6 from 3 and 26% overall on 15 shots. Not great. Chris Boucher still at the 5. 19 points, 8 rebounds. He was a +3 on the floor. Fantastic in a loss. Pascal Siakam, 27 points, 7 rebounds. He wasn't efficient, 0 of 6 from 3 and 33% overall, but he was a +5 on the floor and a 9-point loss. So we'll give it to him as well. And then OG Anunoby to round out the starters, 2 points, 3 assists in only 9 minutes of play. Alrighty, off their bench, didn't get the great production that the Lakers got. Malachi Flynn, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. That's actually real good off the bench, but he did play 33 minutes. And then we get Aaron Baines, 9.6 rebounds off the bench. And Yuta Watanabe, 8 points, 3 rebounds off the bench as well. But overall, Lakers starters were more efficient, and the bench were able to get it done better than the Raptors. So Lakers get the win 110-101. All right, we got to evaluate Montrezl Harrell's production here. He did start the game. Well, he did play in the game, got ejected. Little bit of a wild ejection to kind of toss him out of that game. So we do give you -3 if you didn't play. He did play, so it's a +2 for a win. But he didn't really play that much. He got ejected, so we're just going to call it a wash. No points awarded for Montrezl Harrell in this game. Alrighty, let's keep going here to the next matchup. Heat in the Grizzlies. This was one of our wrong picks. I think we chose the Heat -4.5 points. And the Heat ended up losing 124-112 against the Grizzlies. So very well done to the Grizzlies. Let's see why they won. Here we go. John Morant, 10 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. Didn't shoot great. 0-4 from 3 and 37% overall. Grayson Allen, once again, didn't shoot great. 8 points, 1 of 5 from 3, 33% overall from the field. But this is where people start to step it up. Jonas Valanciunas, 20 points, 10 rebounds, great night. Kyle Anderson, 19 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds. Dylan Brooks, 28 points, 2 steals, 2 assists on 5 of 9 from 3 and 62% overall. And they got some great productions here off the bench. Desmond Bane, 15 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. And Xavier Tillman, 11 points and 6 rebounds. So John Morant, a little bit of a light night, but everybody else in the starting lineup really gets it done. The bigs, the forwards, the centers get it done. And then some nice contributions here off the bench. But let's see why the Heat did not win this game. Why did they not get it done? So here we go. We get Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic all playing. Victor Oladipo playing. So there's really no reason why they should have lost this game. But let's see what happened here. Jimmy Butler, 28 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds on 68% shooting. Fantastic. 1 of 2 from 3. Classic Jimmy Butler game. Trevor Ariza, he's floundering. This is why they're starting to lose a little bit. We saw, when Trevor Ariza got to the starting lineup for the Heat, they were winning games and he was looking real good. But just last night in 26 minutes, 2 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds on 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from the 3. So couldn't hit anything, couldn't be kind of, that threat on the floor, unfortunately. Bam Adebayo, triple-double, holy moly. 18 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds. Great night by him. Duncan Robinson, 14 points on 4 of 7 from 3, so that's pretty good. Victor Oladipo, 16 points, only 2 assists, so a little light there, but 6 rebounds on 42% shooting and 1 of 4 from 3. So not a terrible game overall. Tyler Hero had a great game off the bench. 19 points on 4 of 7 from 3, 70% overall. Goran Dragic, a little light by him, 9 points on 37% shooting, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and that was really it. So unfortunate there, missing Kendrick Nunn a little bit here for the Heat. Just couldn't kind of keep up the offensive scoring of the Grizzlies, and that's truly unfortunate here by the Heat. So well done by the Grizzlies. They're 2 games above 500. So is this kind of the Grizzlies team? They've shored it up throughout the 2/3 of the season and are just kind of shoring it up here at the start of the back third of the season, because they're 2 games above 500 now, folks. So watch out for this Grizzlies team. All right, another team that we have to look out for is the Nuggets. And that brings us to the Nuggets and the Pistons, and another win for the Nuggets with Aaron Gordon in the starting lineup. I love this Nuggets team, folks. I love it. So let's talk about it. Here we go. No Jamal Murray for this squad, and they still get the win. How fantastic. Not even taking a step back with no Jamal Murray. So Monte Morris gets into the starting rotation here at the starting point guard in replacement of Jamal Murray. And he goes for 10 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. All right. 62% from the field, so that's great, but not what Jamal Murray does. But, just being a game manager out there, we can appreciate it. Will Barton steps up his kind of scoring potential, so I absolutely love that. Will Barton's like the 5th option here offensively with the kind of the starting lineup, but without Jamal Murray, he kind of goes up to kind of the 4th. He goes up to the 4th scoring option. So love Will Barton getting into the mix here. 24 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 62% shooting, and 3 of 6 from 3. Magnificent game. Jokic, great game as always. 27 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Didn't even take a 3 this game. How crazy. Aaron Gordon, 9 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He only took 4 shots, so passing the ball around. I love that. Aaron Gordon not kind of being, all right, I'm here. I want to be the main center point of this offense, because that's kind of what Michael Porter Jr. was saying last season, that it was just kind of too much Jamal Murray and Jokic, and, he kind of, went out in the media and was like, I want a bigger role. All right, but Aaron Gordon here, you're like, whatever you need me to do. You don't need me to score, just need me to play defense. I'm good to do that. Y'all got the scores over here. Y'all can score. Alrighty. As long as y'all are scoring, I don't need to score. That's fine. I've got no problem with that. So love how Aaron Gordon is truly fitting in here. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Michael Porter Jr., 25 points, 7 rebounds on 3 of 4 from 3 and 68% overall. So great game by everybody here, by the starters. Love it. And they got some great contributions here off the bench. JaMychal Green put up 8 points. Paul Millsap put up 12 points, 5 rebounds. Love that. Facundo Campazzo, 6 points, 5 assists. PJ Dozier, 8 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. So great overall night here by the Nuggets. Love their starting lineup. They got it done without Jamal Murray. Love it. All right, let's go to the Pistons now. What happened here? Jeremy Grant put up to 29 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Great night by him. Saddiq Bey finally got it done in the scoring department. 25 points on 6 of 12 from 3. Love it. But then nobody else scored. Nobody else was really even in double digits. We get Frank Jackson with 11 points off the bench in 16 minutes. But all these starters, Mason Plumlee, 4 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Josh Jackson, 7 points. Saban Lee, 0 points. I mean, the starting lineup for this Pistons team is not good. But hey, their 2 main players got it done. So that's the first step. Having consistency by your main starters here, Jeremy Grant and Saddiq Bey. Those are your main scorers, and they got it done here. But nobody else got the scoring memo last night for the Pistons. Alrighty, let's judge Jokic's performance, because he's in our MVP race. He's got 2 points for a win, 27 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds, efficient as all heck, 81%, a +9 on the floor, leading scorer for the squad, leading assister for the squad, leading rebounder for the squad. So we'll take it. Jokic, 2 points for the win. We'll give him a third for production, a third point for production. So we'll give Jokic 3 points here in our MVP race, and that puts him up to 7, and that actually puts him in the lead for our MVP race at 7 total points. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Warriors, Bucks, and the Bucks get to lose. Giannis did not play, unfortunately, and they lose. But let's talk about the Warriors first. We just kind of, praised Steph Curry in the opening of the show. Just absolutely got it done. 41 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 of 10 from 3, 66% overall. Really just great night by him. Kelly Oubre Jr., a pretty good night as well. 19 points, second leading scorer for the squad, 6 rebounds. He shot 4 of 8 from 3, so that's what we're talking about. about. James Wiseman, 13 points, 10 rebounds, still looking not the greatest out there. A -7 on the floor. He was the only starter in a kind of minus territory, along with Andrew Wiggins, -3. Andrew Wiggins, light night by him as well. 9 points, 4 rebounds, 1 of 8 from 3, 26% overall from the field. Not great. And then Draymond Green to round out the starters here. 6 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds. He also had, never mind. I thought that was 6 turnovers. But Draymond Green, 6 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, a +5 on the floor, just getting it done defensively. And then they also had some nice contributions here off the bench. Kent Bazemore put up 18 points off the bench. Fantastic work. 4 of 4 from 3. Wonderful. And then Jordan Poole off the bench as well. 10 points, 6 assists in only 16 minutes. So Warriors by Steph Curry, man, when he's on the floor, anything can happen, and they're able to get the win. Now let's see why the Bucks did not win. Yeah, they didn't have Giannis, but that shouldn't be the main reason. But let's see what happened. Drew Holiday, 29 points. Love that he kind of stepped up in the scoring department. 29 points, 5 assists. He did have 8 turnovers as well, so not the greatest. But he shot 61% and 4 of 7 from 3. Dante DiVincenzo, only 6 points. He did have 5 assists and 5 rebounds, though. Shot 2 of 6 from 3. 25% overall from the field. Brook Lopez, a little bit of a light night as well. 9 points, 3 rebounds. Bobby Portis got it done. 13 points, 13 rebounds in the starting lineup. Love seeing that man step it up. And then Chris Middleton also stepped it up as well. 28 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds on 52% shooting. I can get behind that. We see Thanasis Antetokounmpo get into the mix here. 19 minutes played, 10 points, 5 rebounds on 100% shooting, 4 of 4. So great. I mean, Thanasis, I mean, he really does get it done when Giannis is not on the floor. So he played 19 minutes. Usually when Giannis plays, he only plays like 4 or 5 minutes, but getting it done here and absolutely wonderful. He can truly be kind of, a great supplement of Giannis. So love that coming off the bench. And then Jeff Teague off the bench. Look at this man go. 15 points in 15 minutes. So Bucks, a close one here. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done. Nobody could be clutch and hit that last shot, unfortunately. But Steph Curry's too good at the 3, man. Too good. Alrighty, Giannis did not play, so that's -3 by him, but they lost, so we're only going to give him a -1 for his non-performance last night. So we'll give him you get -3 for not playing. With them losing a little close, he would have been the factor. We just took off a point from Harden. That's the wrong one. We got to go to Giannis. -1 here. Should we do -2 or -1? We'll do -2. -1. Giannis -1 point. All right, so he drops down to 2 points overall. All righty. That is, all right, let's go to the last game of the night, the Clippers and the Blazers, and we wanted to bet this game, but we stayed away from it because we knew this was going to happen, unfortunately. We love this Blazers team, but Clippers get the win 133-116 over the Blazers last night. The Blazers are not ready to take that next step, so that's truly unfortunate. Let's start here with the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard, 29 points, 7 assists, 12 rebounds, 55% overall, 1 of 4 from the 3. So he's going to have to get a little bit better from the 3, but overall everything was pretty great by him last night. Paul George, 36 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He shot 6 of 9 from 3, 61% overall, a magnificent performance by him. Patrick Beverley, back here in the starting lineup, 8 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Zubac, 11 points, 5 rebounds, and then Marcus Morris to round out the starters. 5 points, 4 rebounds on 28% shooting, 1 of 6 from 3. Not the greatest. But off the bench, we get Reggie Jackson putting up 23 huge points. Fantastic. We get Rondo still playing here. 2 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds, and 15 minutes played. Nothing truly great there. And then DeMarcus Cousins also playing as well, only in 7 minutes, but 7 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, got it done in those 7 minutes. So overall, the starters, the stars of this Clippers team got it done. The Blazers, man, let's see what went wrong with them. Truly unfortunate here. Oh, man. Well, it starts with Damian Lillard. Not great. Damian Lillard, 11 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. Those rebounds and assists are good, but 1 of 6 from 3, 14% overall from the field. The man only hit 2 shots all game. Oh, my gosh. I don't want to call it garbage, but very close to garbage. CJ McCollum had a great night, 24 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals on 60% shooting. Enes Kanter had a great night, 13 points, 15 rebounds. Robert Covington, 15 points, 9 rebounds. Norman Powell, 32 points, 4 rebounds. So all the starters got it done besides kind of Damian Lillard, and that's truly disappointing. And the bench really didn't get it done either. Derrick Jones Jr., only 6 points. Carmelo Anthony, only 8 points, 5 rebounds. Anthony Simons, only 2 points. So lackluster here by the bench. Lackluster here by Damian Lillard. No Yusuf Nurkic, all kind of hurting the Blazers here. So we got to judge Damian Lillard's performance. You get a -2 for a loss, and really his performance, I think we're going to have to knock him another point here. I mean, did not shoot well, only put up 11 points, least score of the starters. Just didn't get it done. Everybody playing better than him. So we're going to have to move his performance to a -3 and take off 3 points from him. So truly unfortunate here. But got to start beating some of these upper echelon teams, and he's not doing that. So not great there by Damian Lillard. Alrighty, that is all the NBA from last night. Let's see what we have on deck for tonight's action. Actually, we're not going to do that. We are going to skip that today. No, we do have nationally televised games, Pelicans and the Nets and Suns and the Jazz. So we'll do our moneymaker. We may kind of tweet that out, so kind of follow us on Twitter at TakesByFans. But I do want to get to our NBA if the season ended today. So let's get to that. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go. If the season ended today, April 7th. After the first 2/3 of the seasons has officially finished up or wrapped up, we are now in the back third of the season. Who is going to kind of solidify their greatness? Who's going to solidify their team and kind of get ready for that playoff run that is coming up? So if the season ended today, we're going to go through who would win right now, and who, so we can kind of get a good picture of what should happen here in the last third, who needs to step up, who we should be keeping an eye on, and who we should be watching out for. So if the season ended today, we've got the brackets up here. We are going to have to kind of determine the play-in tournaments. We are also going to do that. So we have the first 6 teams filled out here in the East and the West. This is the East so far, and this is the West. So here we go. Let's just kind of bring up the standings so far in the East. 76ers are back at the number 1 seed. Nets are at the 2. Bucks at the 3. Hawks at 4. Hornets at 5. Yikes. Heat at 6. Knicks at 7. Celtics at 8. Pacers at 9. And the Bulls at 10. Love that Bulls at 10 there. All right, and then in the West, we got the Jazz at 1. Suns at 2. Clippers at 3. Nuggets at 4. Lakers at 5. Blazers at 6. Mavericks at 7. Grizzlies at 8. Spurs at 9, Warriors at 10. Alrighty, so before we start kind of going into the regular kind of format of, the playoffs that we're all used to, number 1 through 8, 1 playing 8, 2 playing 7, all that, we have to determine the winners of the play-in tournament. Now, a little refresher on the play-in tournament. So 1 through 6 in each conference are guaranteed to make the playoffs. 7, 8, 9, 10 are all up for those last remaining 2 seeds. So the play-in tournament is the 7th and 8th seed play each other. Winner of that one game gets the 7th seed. Then the 9 and 10 play each other. The winner of the 9 and 10 play the loser of the 7 and 8, and then the winner of that game gets that 8th seed. So if you're the 7th or 8th seed, you have 2 chances to secure your spot in the playoffs. If you're the 9 or 10th seed, you only have 1 chance to secure your spot in the playoffs. So let's start here in the East and play out this play-in tournament. So right now, the 7th seed in the East is the Knicks, and the 8th seed is the Celtics. So they would play each other, and I would say the Celtics win that game hands down. I mean, they're going to be at full strength here. They brought in Evan Fournier. That's fantastic. He's really giving them the depth that they desperately need. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can get it done, and Romeo, who's their big? Robert Williams, he's actually kind of getting it done here in the starting lineup. Losing, Daniel Tice, Tristan Thompson can still come off the bench, or maybe even Tristan Thompson resumes his starting role when he kind of gets back healthy. But either way, they're going to have the depth at the nice shooting position with Evan Fournier and either Robert Williams or Tristan Thompson coming off the bench. So, and they also have Moritz Wagner, which they haven't really been utilizing too much, so he's still a little bit of a question mark, but still could get it done for the Celtics. And then for this Knicks team, I mean, all the starters and all the bench need to get it done on a consistent basis, and we really haven't seen that from them really since kind of that 1 week stretch where they were winning a lot of games and they were in the media. They've really fallen off ever since the trade deadline, honestly, and there's really showing us nothing consistent. Their playmakers, their stars are not all getting it done, and the bench has been a little bit lackluster. RJ Barrett and Julius Randle can get it done on a nightly basis, but then there's nothing else solid about that team. Manuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, Derrick Rose really just kind of hit and miss out there off the bench. So I'm going to take the Celtics. They win the 7-8 matchup, so they do claim the 7th seed in the West. So let's put them in here at number 7. Alrighty, and then we've got to finish out who's going to get this 8th seed here. So here we go. The 9 and 10 play each other. Pacers, Bulls, and yes, sir, I'm going with the Bulls here over the Pacers. Love what this Bulls team is after the trade deadline and after they've got all the kinks worked out. Using Thaddeus Young at the 4 is fantastic. He's getting it done. Vucevic, he's returning to his old shape here like he did with the Magic. He floundered a little bit slightly in the first couple of games since the trade deadline, since he got there in Chicago, but now they're winning games, 3-game winning streak, no problem. Zach LaVine's getting it done. Kobe White's getting it done off the bench as well to kind of provide some scoring output for that bench. So I've got the Bulls over the Pacers. Pacers don't kind of threaten me at all. Karis LeVert, he's kind of taking over the prime scoring position, and that's really like nobody else can step up scoring wise because Karis LeVert's kind of commanding the ball a little bit too much. Sabonis is barely putting up like 15 plus points a game because Karis LeVert's there, and we're getting no solid scoring production besides anybody else over Karis LeVert. So I thought Karis LeVert was going to help this team, but I think it's hurting them a tad, a little bit. So we'll have Bulls beating the Pacers, and then for the A seed, it would come down to the Knicks and the Bulls, and I'm taking the Bulls, folks. I'm taking proven talent. I've got a great starting roster topped down by this Bulls team compared to just kind of 2 good players by the Knicks. So we'll have the Bulls securing that 8th seed here in the West in our tournament so far. Alrighty, so the final seeding of the Eastern bracket, in our opinion, is going to be the 76ers at 1, the Nets at 2, the Bucks at 3, the Hawks at 4, the Hornets at 5, the Heat at 6, and the Celtics at 7, and the Bulls getting into that 8th seed. Alrighty, let's go over the entire East, and then we'll do the entire West. So here we go. Let's start here with the East. Here we go. All right, so the first round matchup would be 1 76ers versus the 8 Bulls. Now, I love this Bulls team, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about the 76ers. And with Joel Embiid healthy, this roster is almost the most complete starting roster that there is, man. Ben Simmons, playing great defense, getting at least 10 plus points. That's all he needs. Just being efficient out there, not, overshooting, because they got Tobias Harris for the scoring department. They got Danny Green for the scoring department, and they got Seth Curry if all those other scoring departments fail of Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, and Danny Green. So Seth Curry can get it done. So they've got the big down low. They've got the shooter Tobias Harris that can really play it anywhere on the floor. They've got the the dangerous catch and shooter of Danny Green. He's really been stepping it up these last kind of 2 weeks here. Has really been getting it done efficiently. So hopefully he can kind of get it done in the playoffs as well. And then Ben Simmons is just a pure defender out there, the facilitator of the floor if needed. And then also off the bench, I mean, we get Dwight Howard, who however few minutes he plays, he's going to get at least 8-9 rebounds, no problem there. And then you also, if you need another scorer, you got Shake Milton off the bench who can provide, 10 plus points off the bench. So really love this 76ers team. I think the Bulls maybe get 1 game, but at the end of the day, the 76ers, I think, win 4-1 over the Bulls. It's just the 76ers are a little bit overall better in the starting roster. I love Thaddeus Young, and I love Jokic, and I love Zach LaVine, but really everything else by this Bulls roster doesn't really do anything, nothing really great. They do have Kobe White off the bench, who is a little hit and miss still, but is finding it better to be on the bench than in the starting rotation. He's a little more efficient off the bench, but at the end of the day, it's the 76ers, it's Joel Embiid, he locks up everybody. 76ers win at 4-1. Alrighty, then let's go to the 4-5 matchup, the Hornets and the Hawks, and this is going to be a blowout 4-0. Truly unfortunate. The Hornets, I mean, they lost LaMelo Ball, they lost Malik Monk, they just lost Gordon Hayward, and that Gordon Hayward is the one that really broke the camel's back there. They were decently winning out without LaMelo Ball. Devontae Graham was kind of stepping it up pretty well out there, and then they lost Malik Monk, so their bench scoring got a little bit less, and then Gordon Hayward, that definitely broke their back. Now they're not deep anymore. Their starting roster's a little shaky. So, I mean, this Hawks team with Lou Williams getting it done, winning every single game that Lou Williams has been there. So, if the Hawks have to face the Hornets, that's fantastic for the Hawks because that's kind of a free pass there. And I will just see that. I don't even know if this Hornets team is going to make it at the end of the day just because I think they're going to start losing a lot of games. They really built up that great playoff positioning with LaMelo Ball, and ever since all these players are getting injured. Now, LaMelo Ball could make an appearance at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, is he going to be right back? Is he going to be back where he left off? How's the rotation? How's the chemistry still with the starting lineup? So with all that being said, Clint Capella, Trae Young, get it done, and then you still got Lou Williams. So Hawks have a nice 4-0 sweep here over the Hornets. All right, let's go to the Bucks and the Heat now. 3-6 matchup. This just happened last year in the bubble, and the Heat won it. Now, what has really changed here from the Bucks last season? Nothing too much. Drew Holiday's playing absolutely fantastic. Chris Middleton is starting to step it up when Giannis isn't in the starting lineup. I do like what they're doing with Thanasis. I would like to see him get a little bit more play out there off the bench when Giannis is in the starting rotation, but this one's going to be interesting. This one probably goes 7. The Heat with Victor Oladipo, if they can get kind of him worked out a little bit better than what he's doing, Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic really carry the load. We've been seeing Duncan Robinson really kind of getting it done consistently from the 3, putting up like 15-plus points on efficient 3-point shooting. And same thing with Tyler Hero. These last kind of week and a half for Tyler Hero, he's really been getting it done off the bench, like 15-plus points, efficient as heck from the 3 as well, just like Duncan Robinson. And that's really all they're missing is just kind of that consistent scoring from 3. So if they had that with Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, you've got the great sustainability of Jimmy Butler, the facilitator of Jimmy Butler, the efficiency of Jimmy Butler, the leadership of Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo. I think they can rival this Bucks team, man, and it is going to be really close, and I think it does go 7. At the end of the day, can Giannis finally get it done? Can this entire Bucks team get it done? Their bench, this Bucks bench is nothing great. They don't really have that much great scoring potential off the bench. Do I have them up really quickly? Just kind of reference. Let's bring them up real quick. All right, here we go. Off the bench, I mean, Pat Connaughton's pretty good. PJ Tucker is probably the best, but he's been out for this last kind of week and a half stretch, so hopefully he can stay healthy. Bobby Portis can potentially get you some kind of 10-point production off the bench, so they've got decent bench, but I think the overall shooting power of this Heat team can beat this Bucks team. This is tough, man. 3-6 matchup. Does history repeat itself with the Heat? I think it does. I mean, at the end of the day, Bam Adebayo, he's no scrub. Now, Giannis is clearly better, and so Bam Adebayo is definitely going to have to work for it down low, but at the end of the day, the 3-point shooting beats the Bucks, and I don't know if the Bucks are able to kind of, in a 7-game series, keep up shooting, outside shooting with the Heat. So, this Heat team at full capacity, folks, if everybody's healthy, Jimmy Butler, missed the first half of the season with COVID, so that's why they kind of got down in the power rankings, but ever since him and Goran Dragic have been consistently playing, they really win the game. So I'm going to call the upset here. Heat win in 7, 4-3 over the Bucks. All right, then that brings us to the Nets and the Celtics. And man, oh man, the Celtics team is good. This is probably the best the Celtics have been all season long after the trade deadline. No more Daniel Tice, unfortunate, but I mean, he wasn't bringing anything great to this team. Having Evan Fournier, that's what the Celtics team needed. Another great shooter. They're very lackluster off the bench. Evan Fournier is really their only good bench player. When Tristan Thompson's healthy, that would be the second best player. But besides those two pieces, they have nothing coming off the bench. Marcus Smart is really kind of iffy in the threes. He's more out there as a defender. Kemba Walker is a little kind of, spotty. He's never really clutch, and he really can't close out games, but he'll get you the 20-plus points. However it comes, 2 of 9 from 3, 47% overall from the field. He'll get you the 20 points. It's really going to come down to how well is Jason Tatum going to play. Jason Tatum in this series is going to have to drop 32-plus points every single game, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he doesn't kind of be the main scorer for the Celtics consistently, they're not even going to be able to compete with this Nets team of James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. So Celtics, they may be able to win a first round, but they're not going to do it against this Nets team. So they may be able to take one, but Nets win 4-1 over the Heat or over the Celtics. All right, now let's talk about second round. 76ers and the Hawks now. All right, this is going to be a great matchup here. Clint Capella versus Joel Embiid. Clint Capella should have decent success, not too much success, but should be able to handle it on some occasions down low. The three-point shooting for the Hawks is definitely going to need to be there. Over Danny Green. At the end of the day, I think this one's probably going to go 6 or 7, but I think I'm going to go with the 76ers here. I love this new kind of Hawks team. Lou Williams definitely kind of puts them at true playoff contenders, and the Hawks are able to kind of challenge the 76ers in the series, no doubt, but I think the 76ers here, just a little bit overall a more consistent team. I think they have a little bit more better defenders. That Tobias Harris being absolutely consistent here. We're going to need John Collins to really step it up consistently for the Hawks if they want a chance of going deep in this kind of playoff tournament. I don't know if he can do that. They're definitely going to have to rely on Lou Williams a lot here. Definitely Trae Young's going to have to be consistent game in, game out. We can really rely on Clint Capella, but at the end of the day, I think the 76ers are a little bit deeper than the Hawks, and that's going to put them over the edge. So we'll have the 76ers win in 7-4-3 over the Hawks. Then we go to the Heat and the Nets, and I mean, I like this Heat team, but overall, I mean, the Nets just have too much consistent firepower. That's why I like the Heat over the Bucks, but this Nets team, I mean, deep as heck, folks. You got the big three of Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, obviously, but then you still got Joe Harrison, Bruce Brown, and Blake Griffin. I mean, it's just, and LaMarcus Aldridge, who's making a solid impact. I love how everybody was like, oh, LaMarcus Aldridge is old and washed up. He was still putting up like 11 and 8 for the Spurs when he was playing, and he's doing the same thing here with the Nets. So what are y'all talking about? He's getting it done. He's getting it done. Good beef down low, get you the 10-plus points, get you basically close to that 10-plus rebounds like we want to see. So what's the problem there? They're deep. They've got shooters. Now, the leadership is going to be the only thing that comes into question in this Nets team down the stretch, but just pure basketball ability on the floor, got to go the Nets here over the Heat 4-1. And then that brings us into the most highly anticipated Eastern Conference Finals, I think, in a long time. 76ers and the Nets. A super team built in the Nets, or just kind of a great starting lineup of the 76ers team. How well is Joel Embiid going to destroy this team? I think at the end of the day, it's still going to be the Nets, folks. Kyrie Irving's winning games single-handedly when James Harden and Kevin Durant are out in the starting lineup. James Harden is winning consistently when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are out in the starting lineup, and we haven't even seen Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie Irving together collectively. So Kevin Durant's coming back tonight, I believe. I think this is his first game back, and he's got a solid third of the season to get that chemistry right to go into the playoffs. I think the chemistry of the Nets are going to be absolutely on point by this time of the Eastern Conference Finals here. So we're going to take the Nets 4-2 over the 76ers. Let's see how well Ben Simmons can do defensively on this team, and let's see how much of an impact Joel Embiid is going to be. But at the end of the day, this three-point shooting by the Nets should just be off the charts. And I don't think, Seth Curry, he's the fifth best option here for the 76ers, but we really don't see any real greatness from him on a given basis for the 76ers team. So really at the end of the day, the Nets are just a little bit deeper than the 76ers team, but it should be a great series. series. I think it goes 6. Nets get it in 4-2. So Nets come out of the Eastern Conference. So let's go to the Western Conference. Let's kind of reset here. Let's get the play-in tournament here for the Western Conference, and then we can start talking about who's going to come out on top here. So here we go. Mavericks, Grizzlies are the 7th, 8th seed. And that one's going to be tough, man. Mavericks have been kind of getting it done consistently here since the trade deadline. Really kind of the week before the trade deadline, they've really been getting it done solidly here. So Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, that's really their main focus over there. But the Grizzlies, I mean, they've been getting it truly done here. They just got above two games above 500 the other night, or actually last night. 7-3 in their last 10 here, as we see John Morant's getting it absolutely done. I mean, the entire lineup, I mean, Grayson Allen's kind of their 5th best option scoring the ball, and usually he gets it done. I mean, he's a decent defender out there, and he can decently get it done from the 3, kind of a Danny Green-esque player. Obviously, you know, Grayson Allen's a little bit newer in this league, so obviously doesn't have the clout of Danny Green. But, I mean, obviously, Jonas Valanciunas is fantastic. They've got Desmond Bane coming off the bench, Brandon Clark, DeAnthony Melton. I mean, all those players have the ability to go for 10-plus points off the bench. So they've got a decent bench out there. Dylan Brooks has really been consistent here. John Morant's obviously been consistent. So the the Grizzlies overall have a pretty good roster, and they get it done kind of well defensively. I think the Mavericks rely too much on Luka Doncic. If you can lock him up, which is definitely obviously hard to do, but if you can lock him up, I really can't trust anybody too much on this Mavericks team outside of him and Porzingis. So I think I'm going to call the upset here, and the Grizzlies beat the Mavericks and take over the 7th seed here. So we're going to put the Grizzlies in at number 7. All right, and then we get the 8 and 9 matchup, Spurs and the Warriors, and I'm going to go the Warriors. So you got Steph Curry. That's really the only deciding factor here between the Spurs and Warriors team. The Spurs are lackluster. They got DeMar DeRozan, all righty, but, I mean, they're just super inconsistent. They play great defense one night, then they give up 120 points, but I only put up 90. They don't win consistently. They don't do anything consistently. Now, the Warriors, they just have the superstar of Steph Curry that can win you any game. We just saw it with the Bucks last night. Yeah, you know, Giannis, but still, at the end of the day, he still did enough to win the game. So we're going to choose the Warriors here beating the Spurs, and then it would be Mavericks and Warriors, and at that point, I think we choose the Mavericks here. I mean, at the end of the day, this Warriors team is like the definition of not deep. I mean, their bench is truly garbage. I mean, they've got no great consistency off the bench. James Wiseman as a big still can't make it work. They're still trying to decide between him and Kevon Looney. Both don't work. Kelly Oubre Jr. is decent. Andrew Wiggins is decent. Draymond Green is decent, but Steph Curry's the only one on a consistent basis dropping, 30-plus points. Kelly Oubre Jr. is a little hit and miss from the scoring department. Andrew Wiggins gives us a good, solid 15-plus points and solid defense, but at the end of the day, they don't have that bench that we can kind of rely on. Tim Hardaway Jr. for the Mavericks. I mean, he's a potential 6th Man of the Year candidate, in my opinion, folks. He can get it done. So we'll have the Mavericks going in at the 8th seed. Alrighty, now let's start talking about it. So we got the Jazz at the 1, Suns at 2, Clippers at 3, Nuggets at 4, Lakers at 5, Blazers at 6, Grizzlies at 7, Mavs at 8 in the West. So let's start here and start doing the matchups here. We get Jazz and the Mavericks round 1, and it's probably going to be a 4-1 gentleman sweep here. This Jazz team is just absolutely fantastic. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, that dynamic duo is amazing. Then you add Mike Conley and Joe Ingles coming off the bench. I mean, Mike Conley's absolutely fantastic, and just everybody on this Jazz team can get it done consistently, folks. Jordan Clarkson, 6th Man of the Year, also off the bench, giving you like 19 points a game. I mean, they're deep. They've got the great starting roster. Who am I missing? Oh yeah, Bojan Bogdanovic is truly getting it done as well. I mean, Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, Rudy Gobert. I mean, you got the defense of the forwards, you got the great playmaking ability by those guards, and Donovan Mitchell is all clutch as all heck out here, and Rudy Gobert is a very consistent, good big, just can't really guard the perimeter too well. But the Mavs, I mean, Porzingis, he's a decent 3-point shooter. It's not somebody that I'm going to kind of, worry about ruining the game. game on a nightly basis. So Jazz get the win here 4-1. All right, then we get Lakers and Nuggets. And man, oh man, I love this Nuggets team, man. Yes, sir. Aaron Gordon. Oh my God, they've won the trade deadline, folks. This is the one team since the trade deadline that has been the most consistent. And they brought in an all-star, and Aaron Gordon did not mess up the starting lineup. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is still getting it done. Jamal Murray is getting it done. Jokic is still getting it done. And Aaron Gordon in that starting lineup is taking nothing away from their production. We're still getting monster performances by Michael Porter Jr. I thought Michael Porter Jr.'s production would come down with Aaron Gordon in the lineup, but it's not. It's not. He's still putting up 20-plus points a game, efficient as all heck from three. Jokic is still getting, the 15 to 20-plus point games with the rebounds and assists, still spreading the floor from the three. Jamal Murray is still facilitating the floor, getting it done in the points department, putting up 20-plus points a game. I mean, they're all getting it done. The only thing that the Nuggets lack is a little bit in their kind of depth of their roster. They have Paul Millsap coming down to the bench because Aaron Gordon took over the starting rotation. And then they got Monte Morris, who can get you kind of 10-plus points a game, but it's nothing truly consistent or something that should be relied on. This Nuggets team really relies on just winning outright by their starting roster because it's so freaking good. It's going to be tough, man. I hope the Lakers don't have to face the Nuggets first round because the Lakers do have the ability to win. I mean, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, what more do you need? But I'm going to go out on a limb here. What the Nuggets have shown us so far, I'm going to respect the heck out of it. We're going to call this one in 7 just because it's going to be super close. I'm really hoping the Nuggets don't have to face the Lakers. I'm hoping the Lakers kind of drop off a little bit. This Nuggets team is going to keep on winning here. Let's see where they can kind of end up on. Currently, the Nuggets are the first seed at 32 wins. They could easily move up to that third seed, passing the Clippers. I would not put it past them. And the Suns are only at 35 wins. So the Nuggets are only 3 games out from really kind of that 2 seed. So I'm all about this team big on the Nuggets. We're going to kind of go out, not even on a limb, because they're just fantastic. That starting lineup, if they can all stay healthy, I think they can challenge this Lakers team of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Jokic, Gordon down low, Michael Porter Jr. still a decent kind of beef at the 3 position. I think they could definitely challenge them. The Lakers may have a little bit of a better depth because they're going to have kind of Montrezl Harrell coming off the bench with Andre Drummond in the starting lineup. So the Lakers are going to have the better bench, but I'm going to count on this Nuggets team, this starting roster, to get it done. So Nuggets win 4-3-7 over the Lakers. All right, then we get the Clippers and the Blazers. Then we just saw this one last night, and it's truly unfortunate. I want this Blazers team to be good. They just can't rival the upper echelon teams, folks, and it is truly disappointing here. I love this Blazers team. Norman Powell is fitting in truly great here. Damian Lillard, unfortunately, did not step it up last night against the Clippers. That's kind of why they lost. They're decently deep. Derrick Jones Jr. now on the bench because they got it, Norman Powell. Nurkic is back, so, I mean, having 2 great bigs of Nurkic and Enes Kanter, but at the end of the day, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George just are a little bit more consistent here, at least in the regular season. We all know playoff P, obviously, and the Clippers blowing all those leads last year in the playoffs, but this Blazers team is just never ready to make that next step, and I buy them every single season, and they always do this to me. They don't beat the good teams, but I love Damian Lillard. He's super freaking clutch, but for some reason, they just can't put a good performance together in the playoffs, so they may be able to steal 1 from the Clippers, but we got to give it up for the Clippers here over the Blazers. Truly heartbreaking. All right, then we get the Grizzlies and the Suns, and I'm going to go the Suns here. Grizzlies may be able to steal 1 or 2 here. We'll give them 2. I'm going to give them 2, but at the end of the day, the Suns they've got a great starting roster, and they're kind of deep. They may be, they could challenge you for most complete roster here in the playoffs, honestly. So you get, obviously, the floor facilitator and Chris Paul. Devin Booker is going for like 25-plus points every single game, getting it done. DeAndre Ayton's a great big. Jay Crowder is getting it done at the 4 out there, hitting threes, being consistent. And then off the bench, you get, Dario Saric, Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson, and all those players really give a great kind of ability of all putting up 10-plus points off the bench. So Grizzlies really don't have that great of a bench. They really match up decently well in the starting roster, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the clutchness. I'm taking Chris Paul, who, I mean, these last 2 seasons have just been playing his absolute, I would say his best basketball he's ever played is probably these last 2 seasons. Crazy. Single-handedly carrying that Thunder team last year into the playoffs, has the Suns here first season at number 2 here. in the West, rivaling the Jazz for that top seed. And the fact that just Chris Paul and Devin Booker are just working so well together, I absolutely love it. So we'll have the Suns beating the Grizzlies here 4-2. Alrighty, then we go to the Jazz and the Nuggets, and man, oh man, the Nuggets are the Jazz kryptonite, folks. I don't want to call the upset, but I think I'm going to. Nuggets over the Jazz. Rudy Gobert has big problems guarding Jokic down low. He can't do it. We just saw it last year in the bubble. This game, the series went 7 last season, and I think it does the same this year as well. I mean, we saw Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray going at it every single game. Rudy Gobert kind of floundering sometimes. This Nuggets team got even better than what they were last year, where the Jazz are kind of exactly what they were last year. Nuggets got better, adding Aaron Gordon. They're still not very deep. That's still our one knock on them. The Jazz are deep. They still got Jordan Clarkson. I mean, 6th man of the year, like we said. But I'm going to give it up for the Nuggets here. I mean, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, Jokic, and Aaron Gordon all get it done on a consistent basis, folks. I'm telling you, they play so well together. They're so unselfish. They don't care if one of the players scores 9 points and the other one scores 25 plus. They do not care about that. They care about winning, and they all work so well together, like we were kind of seeing with the magic of Vucevic and Aaron Gordon not really able to kind of work together. Jokic and Aaron Gordon with Michael Porter Jr., who's kind of another kind of bigger forward that can hit the three very well. They're still not taking away any production away from each other, so I absolutely love it. Jazz, we'll see what they can do, but like I said, this Nuggets team is exactly what the Jazz cannot kind of guard, the shooting great bigs. That's why they struggled last year. They're still struggling this year doing it as well. I'm going to call the upset here. Nuggets win 4-7 over the Jazz. And then we get the Clippers and Suns, and I'm going to go the Clippers here, probably in 7 again. Like, playoff P, Paul George, that is a definite concern. We've seen it time and time and time again. It's not a one-and-done fluke. The one-and-done fluke is the Clippers kind of blowing the leads. We just saw that last season, so we can still kind of, count that decently, but not as much as kind of Paul George in the playoffs. This Suns team, they're deep. They're ready to make the run. They've been consistent all season. This Clippers team may run into some kind of chemistry problems just because we've seen, the load management of Kawhi Leonard, obviously. Their bigs not being there. Serge Ibaka being out for a long time, scrambling around, just signing DeMarcus Cousins. So we'll see if he's still on the roster. Paul George, his playoff P, him also kind of being in and out of the starting lineup. Patrick Beverley, being in and out of the starting lineup, losing Lou Williams. How are they going to deal with that? So far, not too bad losing Lou Williams, but I'm going to give it up. I mean, the Suns team has just been so consistent, flying a lot under the radar, folks, truly all season. I think they're better than a lot of people are giving them credit for. They're deep. They've got the bench. I'm telling you, they truly got the bench. And Chris Paul, he's not going down without a fight. The man wants a ring, and nothing's going to stop him, not even the Clippers this season. I got the Suns beating the Clippers here. And then that brings us to the Nuggets and the Suns now. Who is going to come out of the West? Man, oh man, this is going to be a great one. Definitely probably going to go 7. But I just think just based off of the depth, I think at some point it's going to get a little bit too much for this Nuggets team. I can't rely on Monte Morris and Paul Millsap to get me consistent points off this bench. It's just unfortunate. The Nuggets are going to run into some games where it's just not falling for that starting lineup where, maybe Aaron Gordon and Jokic get it done, but Porter's floundering, Jamal Murray's floundering. It's really going to take all 4 of them on a nightly basis, all performing at their maximum potential for them to really come out of this West. So they really don't have that good of a bench. The Suns do, and that's going to be the sole kind of reason why we got the Suns coming out of the West here, winning 4-3 over the Nuggets. And then that brings us to the final, folks. Nets versus the Suns. Who's going to be able to win? Man, oh man. Nets-Suns finals. This Nets team is super deep, and they've got the All-Stars to back it up in the starting lineup. The Suns, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre, and Jay Crowder. But I think at the end of the day, the Nets, Kevin Durant's shown us that he can hit big-time shots in the finals. Kyrie Irving has shown us that he can hit big clutch shots in the finals. James Harden has never been to the finals, but I'm sure that he can be clutch there. So I think I'm going to give it up to the Nets here in 6 games, 4-2 over the Suns. I just think maybe the little bit of inexperience here in finals. Chris Paul's never been to a finals. Obviously, Devin Booker's never been. Obviously, DeAndre Jordan's never been. Has Jay Crowder been? Jay Crowder's been in this league a little bit. He may have been in the finals at some point. Let's see where he's at. Let's see. Dallas, was he with this Dallas squad early on in 2012? Where'd they finish here? Where'd they finish? When was that Cavs Mavericks final? Finished 4th in the NBA. Yeah, they didn't do anything in the playoffs. What do we get there? Why can I not find this quickly? All right, what did we say? 2013, 2012. They didn't even make it to the playoffs that year. Damn. The finals was 2010, 2011, so we just missed that one. All right. So Jay Crowder wasn't on that roster with the Mavericks finals. Alrighty. So he didn't get it there. Toronto 2014. Back to Dallas. Not there. The Celtics in 2016. What do they do here? What do the Celtics do in 2017? What do they get here? They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. Alrighty. Utah. Alrighty. Pelican, or what is it? 2019? No. Memphis, Miami. Miami last season? He was with them last season. All right, yeah. Alrighty. So he had, final experience last season. Maybe that's just what he needed to kind of put him overboard. Jay Crowder's going to have to kind of be that finals leader. Him and Chris Paul are going to have to team up, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be enough. So we're going to have the Nets winning the NBA championship this season against the Suns 4-2. Alrighty, that's going to do it for us today on the show. Long here, our longest show we've ever done. So we've got to cut it short. Our camera battery has died a long time ago. So we're out of here. We're back tomorrow live, noon Eastern, doing it all again. We'll be back with an NFL draft prospect tomorrow on the show as well. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and we are out of here.